and we're here to take you along the river safely. But we'd like to point out some places of interest to try and make your trip a little bit more interesting. So when I make a mistake or get a bit lost, do bear with me, and I will find where they sold the eye, because it wasn't making them enough money. But on a sunny day like today, that I can make up in only 30 minutes. So I've got no idea what kind of money they're all ever going to make. The Royal Navy and the Royal Air Force. That building is locally known as the Iceberg because only 1/3 of the building is visible from the surface. The other 2/3 are situated underground. In front of the iceberg is a stone, the rear of the eagle. That points to the Ministry of Defence. Now we're also passing that great paddle steamer, Tadshall Castle. She started her life as a car ferry on the River Humber. She was brought to London to become a floating art gallery. 2 weeks as a pub, and she made it the whole 2 years as an art gallery. And that just goes to show you what kind of artists that we like here in London. And we've got London's oldest landmark, Cleopatra's Needle. Now that obelisk stood Nile and the Battle of Alexandria. If you look at the sphinxes, they're facing the other way. By the time the Egyptians told us it was wrong, the concrete had dried. It's remained the same ever since. Not many people know that, but I do, and I tell everyone. Thatcher and Dispatcher Department. When they eventually moved out, they're inland building in London for over 10 years. That was until somebody finally built an uglier building downriver in Woolwich, which is actually a Tesco. This area on the right, 5,000 performances throughout the year, and some excellent street food markets as well. On our left-hand side is a white ship with a yellow funnel. That's Haveners. She's basically a drinking club for retired sea captains.
Look at the plane.
Behind the Wellington is a stone archway with the face of Father Thames. There are also 2 silver dragons, one on either side of the road. That's Temple Stairs up. When they had it designed, it was illegal to advertise on the banks of the Thames unless your company worked with boats. Because OXO makes stock cubes, they have nothing to do with boats, and they were taken to court. They argued it was merely a coincidence that the windows up on their towers spelled their company name, OXO. Now surprisingly, the judge actually agreed with them. They've had over 90 years of free advertising ever since. I think it's where they're educated many of our former MPs and Prime Ministers. Now despite that, they do say that it was a good school, and Winston Churchill spent 2 weeks over there before he was expelled for fighting on the beaches over on our right. Ahead of the boat we have the Blackfriars group of bridges. The first is the old London, Chatham and Dover Railway. That was taken down because it couldn't take the weight of the modern day trains. So John Wolfe Barry and Henry Mark Brunel, the son is now 65 feet high. It's the second largest unsupported cathedral dome in the world. The largest is on St Peter's the Wibbly-Wobbly Bridge. That's because it was opened by our late Queen in the millennium year, and it was closed by the police the following day because it wobbled quite violently. They had to close this bridge for 2 years. They spent millions of pounds demobilising it just to make it safe. But on our right, we have a white building with timber frames and a thatched roof. That's a replica. It's arguably the oldest and the ugliest railway bridge to cross the Thames in central London. It was designed by John Hawkshaw and it opened in 1866. But to Queen Elizabeth I, and he paid off our national debt. If only we had someone like you from its porters. A young man called Maurice Micklewright started his career there. He later went on to become the famous Cockney actor Michael Caine. A lot of people say that Billingsgate, when he heard how to swear, not many people do. While to our right, we've got Mrs. Caine. She saw action during the Second World War, and she last tried her guns in anger during the Korean campaign. She's now part of the Imperial War Museum. You can explore 9 decks of the Belfast from the engine room of Conqueror. It was completed in 1098. Over the last 900 years, the tower has been a royal palace. First was tried at Westminster Hall, where we started. We have Tower Bridge. This bridge was designed by Horace Jones and John Fort Barry. It was completed in 1894. Now, the centre span of this bridge, this area was mostly derelict for almost 30 years. After that, a very clever Canadian company called Olympia and York started to build cofferdams in the dock. They then drained the water out of each dam, and that gave them the footprints for the first few buildings. Over the last 25 to 30 years, now the River Thames is the second longest river in the UK. The longest is the River Severn. The Thames is 215 miles long and 67. On the other side of Teddington Lock, we have 148 miles of non-tidal river that steps its way up lock by lock all the way up. Including the chapel, which is very beautiful, and the painted hall. Now, Greenwich is also a great place for a drink or something to eat. We've got a food market in the square on our right. We've also got the Gypsy Moth pub with its large beer garden. A bit further behind those buildings is Trafalgar Tavern, which is very beautiful and famous for its whitebait, its fish. Next door to the Trafalgar is my favourite pub in Greenwich, and that's the Yacht. I quite like the Yacht because it does a lovely lunch and it's owned by Green Kings, not too expensive. Now, if you're leaving us here, folks, please remain in your seats until we're safely alongside. Once again, we like to point out places of interest to try and make your trip more interesting. If anybody has enjoyed my few words and would like to pay bucket, or you can scan our QR code and leave something on the card. Thanks for listening to me. Have a lovely day in Greenwich. Thank you very much. Okay, so good afternoon and welcome aboard to the passengers who've joined us at Greenwich. Just got to give you a very brief safety announcement to tell you this boat is licensed by the Maritime and Coast Guard Agency. Being licensed by them, the boat's equipped with a full complement of life rings, life rafts and life jackets. All of our emergency equipment and emergency exits are clearly marked with green and green signs. In the very unlikely event of an emergency, you will be told how to proceed by a member of the crew.
Thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe to see what I see. And for more videos, make sure you do the bell icon and make sure to watch all of our upcoming videos. I hope you like my commentary. Bye.